I'm somewhere in the middle, try to find myself again. But life is one big riddle of the future and what's been. Guess it's the way it goes, and I will never know why you let me go. Look to the left, look to the right, nothing can stop me in the night, like I am leaving all the bad stuff and trying to remain so strong. I know it's good if I'm alone. I got it, I gotta go, 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 running to better times. Go, 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 from my emotions I'll go, 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 running to better times, to better times, to better times, to better times, to better times. Remember I was laughing in all the photos that you took, but now it looks like acting, like we were fiction in a book. Guess it's the way it goes, and I will never know why you let me go. Look to the left, look to the right, nothing can stop me in the night, like I am leaving all the bad stuff and trying to remain so strong. I know it's good if I'm alone. I got it, I gotta go, 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 running to better times. Go, 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 from my emotions I'll go, 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 running to better times, to better.
Hello, welcome. I get so hyped as I play my intro video every night, getting ready to go live with you. I get so excited about it every single time. I am drinking an energy drink, so that could be a smidge, just a smidge of the hype. But I seriously love being in this space with you. I have messaged with several of you today and shared just what this does for me. I get so filled up emotionally being a part of this space and allowing to hold this space for you in such a intimate, vulnerable, special space. It just does so much for me. I love hosting these workshops. So welcome to tonight. I am very excited for tonight. If you have been in my space for any length of time, you probably know that I love talking about masturbation. Love it. It's the best. Love that conversation, okay? Which is the beautiful topic of tonight. So show me that you are here on the live by commenting below with just a simple yes or no. You don't have to give any spicy details or anything, but just a simple yes or no of whether you have ever purchased a vibrator or lubricant. Post that in the comments for me, okay? I have an assistant that is helping me tonight to make sure you can see all of the comments that are happening, all of the videos that are happening, because I know how important this conversation is. And quite honestly, this is the conversation that people come to me most frequently for I literally have no idea how to talk to my kids about this. So that's what tonight is for, okay? Remember, investing this hour each night in yourself, showing up on the videos, getting in my DMs, doing the assignments, sharing the conversations with your village, doing the action steps, that allows for massive change in your life. Okay, this work that you're doing, it goes much further than just our week together. Know that. It goes much further than just the time that you spend being a part of this workshop. But this workshop is the ideal starting point to begin this journey for you, to begin this space of rewriting your story around sex and pleasure and allowing you to build a truly sex positive home, whether that's for you or for the kids inside of your home. Okay. So as always, remember that you are welcome to message me with any questions that are coming up. I know I chatted with several of you and added a few more questions to the list. You are welcome to message me privately. You're welcome to text me. A lot of you have my phone number, so you're welcome to text me. You can put them in the comments here and I will get them saved for Monday night. Again, Monday night is hot seat coaching. So that will be the time where I answer all of these questions for you and things that are coming up and maybe things that are a little bit more specific to your life and your journey versus the generality that some of this workshop is. Okay. So I know that even still today, there were new people that joined the group, which is crazy to me. Thank you for sharing this with your village and encouraging people to participate. They are still going to be able to watch the replays. That content will still be there. So even if they're joining on what is day 4, they've not missed anything. Okay. They can still go back and watch those replays. So if you are new, hi, welcome. My name is Liz Martin. I am a sex positive parenting coach, a certified sex educator, a certified doula, and the founder and CEO of Empower the Talk. I love talking about all of these conversations, and everything that goes into every aspect of my work revolves around sexual health in some capacity and the necessity of having these conversations. Okay. My background is as a social worker. I've been having these tough taboo conversations for years now in a multitude of settings. As I saw over and over that resources were not available for these conversations, and specifically to be able to share with my clients, I saw the necessity in creating Empower the Talk. Empower the Talk came out of a space of there was nothing else available. There was no other option available to support and educate and encourage as you go through these really tough conversations. This week, I am going to empower you to have those tough conversations with your kiddos and give you the education basis that you need to do it well and with confidence. Okay? Get ready. We're jumping right in tonight because we have a lot to cover, all the special details of masturbation. So in order to get the most out of this workshop, be sure that you're commenting, following along. If you need your workbook, message me and I will send you that link. It's all available. The workbook is an opportunity to kind of guide you through this process and allows you to just have a space to process, right? Maybe you're not somebody that wants to talk it out with me. Maybe you're not somebody that wants to type something to me in the DMs. That's totally fine. Use your workbook as that journaling space, as that space to kind of work through the things that are coming up. I had somebody share in the DMs with me today that there was a lot of things that were like going a lot deeper that they had never really thought about before, right? Like the workshop gave them an opportunity to start at that surface level space and then dive deeper. That's powerful. That's huge in these conversations because none of these conversations will ever be just a surface level conversation. Okay. All right. Take a drink. Energy. Okay. All right. So tonight we are going to be going over acknowledging that masturbation is developmentally normal. That's a big one. All right. Accepting that pleasure is part of being a human. It is a human need, okay? We are going to talk about how to set boundaries around privacy and safety and how to have conversations around pornography and safety. Like I said before, masturbation is one of the number one things that I hear from parents that they are so unsure how to talk to their kids about. Hi, when I'm not doing this and hosting these workshops, I sell and show sex toys. I talk about this all the time, okay? Hang out with me long enough, and I can assure you that I will support you in not only eliminating the taboo around masturbation, but also teaching you why I think every being should have a vibrator and lubricant, okay? Stick around. It's great. It's a great space over here, all right? So let's talk about this first point. Masturbation is developmentally normal. A lot of us get this narrative around masturbation, whether it is from a space of religion or a space of discomfort from our parents. Remember, a lot of this can be used to reparent yourself. right? A lot of this can be used to give you the opportunity to hear these conversations in a new light if you did not have them as a child. All right. So we get this conversation around masturbation, and it normally comes from a space of taboo and shame and like, oh, we don't talk about that, or we don't do that. That's sinful, or oh, that's gross. That's the narrative around this a lot of the time, okay? So hearing the words masturbation is developmentally normal. It is a normal thing that bodies do at all ages, okay? The first step to acknowledging that to be true is accepting that bodies want pleasure. Hear that again. Bodies want pleasure. When we feel something pleasurable, we keep doing it. Whether that is a rush of sugar, a rush of caffeine, an orgasm, our bodies want more, and we do what it takes to get more, to fill that need of pleasure. Whatever you define as pleasurable for you, our bodies seek that out. This is even more so true for those little bodies in your lives, because let's talk about impulse control. Non-existent for those little bodies, okay? Even more so true. It is normal for infants and toddlers to touch and explore because it feels good. They want to touch their bodies. They want to explore what these sensations create. And it's normal, especially when littles have their diapers taken off and they get a cool rush of air. Okay. They're in a diaper most of the time for at least a year, if not 2 or 3 years of their life. That feels different when there's this cool rush of air, right? Like that is a change in sensation, and children are so attuned to bodily awareness, so attuned to bodily sensations, okay? To normalize this conversation for yourself, I know we talked about this on day 1 or day 2, I don't remember now, about adding this word pleasure to your vocabulary. That pleasure in and of itself is not inherently sexual, so don't make it one. It doesn't have to create a sexual connotation. The actual definition of pleasure is a feeling of happy satisfaction and enjoyment. Thank you, Sarah. Day one. A feeling of happy satisfaction and enjoyment. That fits for a lot of things. I can assure you, as a very, very tired mother, that first sip of hot coffee, my body feels waves of pleasure every time, every time. That first sip. When my partner is away for a few days for work and that first touch when they get home, the safety and security and pleasure that creates. Pleasure cannot be taboo. We cannot let it become taboo. We have to create safety and acknowledgement around pleasure. Pleasure has to be integrated into our daily vocabulary. So how do we set those boundaries then around privacy and safety? Because we can have all these conversations that this is important and this is safe and that pleasure is a needed conversation, but we also have to talk about privacy and safety. And it is important to set these. Masturbation involves touching your genitals, right? That's what it is. That is the bare bones of it. Although a lot of the work that I do is around normalizing it, that does not mean that I'm saying that it is okay to do it in the middle of a grocery store with a bunch of onlookers who are not consenting. Okay? We can normalize it without it being something that like, oh yeah, it can happen anytime, anywhere, whenever you want. Nobody has to consent. It's fine, whatever. Enjoy yourself. Pleasure. No. That is not how it works, okay? So here are some ideas of what that conversation could look like and what you could say instead. I noticed you rubbing your vulva or your penis. That can feel really good. It is important that it's something that is done in private, though. The kitchen table is not a private space, but your bedroom is. If you would like to continue engaging in that behavior, you are more than welcome to go to your bedroom and do so. It's as simple as that. You don't have to make it a deeper, longer conversation than that. You can just say, I noticed you rubbing your penis or your vulva. That can feel really good. That can be pleasurable. And it's important that that's something that is done privately. The kitchen table is not a private space, but your bedroom is. If you want to continue, feel free to go to your bedroom. Go enjoy. That's all you have to say. That's it. I promise. We establish spaces that are deemed private and therefore safe to engage in this behavior. For older children or young adults, it also means being mindful of their human right to privacy. Okay, so if you've already made them aware that their bedroom is a private space, we then don't walk in without knocking. We give them that space of privacy, okay? You can also set boundaries around body safety, that this can be a piece of the conversation. So washing hands, not because the act of masturbation is dirty, but because of it involving genitals, there could be urine or feces that is still there. Being mindful of washing our hands, right? Also being mindful of what germs are already on our hands. If you know a child, if you have a child, they are germy beings. Germy beings. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff happening on those hands, all right? So being mindful of washing your hands first and after, right? That we want to protect our bodies, we want to keep our bodies safe, and it is totally fine to engage in this behavior, but this is how you can do it safely, okay? So making sure that your hands are clean before and after. This is a practice that we should be doing as adults as well, but do we think about it all the time? Do we think about what we're actually doing, or are we just like overwhelmed by the spiciness of the situation? Wash your hands before and after. It's that simple. Keeps your body safe, keeps all bodies involved safe, okay? As your child is older, it may be something to explore or talk about the option of a sex toy. Brains that are underdeveloped, teenage brains that are underdeveloped are not processing through is putting this thing inside or around my body safe. They don't have that capability yet to process through all of the things that could cause harm to their body or could go wrong in that. Okay? I would much rather have a teen that has access to sex toys that are meant for that purpose, as well as access to proper cleaning and proper usage of them, than for them to explore in a way that may harm their body. Let me say that again. I would much rather them have access to sex toys with proper usage information and proper cleaning than for them to explore their bodies in a way that may harm them. Okay? I find that this is often the point where parents come to, that is so awkward. I don't want to buy them a toy or even talk about it because then I'm endorsing it. No. What you are endorsing is safe access to pleasure. Safe access to pleasure. That's what you're endorsing. I see your question. I think we're going to kind of cover it here in the next section. If it's not fully answered, I'll write that question down to cover on Monday, Valerie, okay? Depending on what your home or your relationship with your teens is like, this experience of purchasing a sex toy can be more or less involved. It's really up to what the dynamics are in your space. For someone that is a minor, it's always up to parental discretion with a buying decision that involves things like this, right? Like, there are rules around minors not being able to purchase these things. Could they probably purchase it on Amazon themselves if they had the ability and access to do so? Probably. Teens are very, very resourceful, right? We know this, okay? So having this conversation about what that looks like in your home. So it could mean that you're buying it for them. It could mean that you're giving them access to money to buy it. It could mean that they decide what they are looking for, and then you do the final purchasing process. The logistics of how it happens doesn't really matter so much as ensuring that the conversation is had and that the goal is to keep their body safe. That is the basis of this, okay? That is what this conversation is broken down to. I want your body to be safe. I don't want you to do something that could hurt or injure your body. I want you to have access to safe tools if you so choose. All parents want their children to be safe, right? Like, I don't know a single parent in here that doesn't want that. All of us as parents want our children to be safe. That's a goal that we have. This goes into that conversation and allows for our children to be safer. So how do we have this conversation when it comes to things like pornography or social media? Okay. Access to phones, computer, internet, it's all super fucking accessible, right? There is no way that they will not experience that. At this point in their lives, all of our children will have some interaction with social media, computers, phones, internet, something. Okay. That won't be changing anytime soon. That is just the world that it is. Okay. So having conversations about this early and often is always the answer. Early and often. Okay, I want you to type this one in the comments. Show me that you're here by typing this in the comments. Be as accessible to your child as online porn is. Type that in the comments for me. Be as accessible to your child as online porn is. Hear it one more time. Be as accessible to your child as online porn is. When we come into this conversation to listen rather than to be in control, real support can happen. We talked about this last night of normalizing their curiosity. Curiosity is not wrong. We are allowed to be curious beings. Curiosity is not the issue at hand here. They are allowed to be curious. Prior to having conversations about porn with your child, is that it's important for you to figure out what your values and beliefs are around it. Talk to your partner if there's a co-parent involved. Talk to a friend, talk to me, whatever you need to do to process through what your values are around pornography. Have you ever had an open conversation about porn? Have you ever been able to disclose that to somebody? Have you ever had a safe dialogue around it? Here's some questions to get you started when you are coming at this from a seeking to determine your beliefs and value system around pornography. What do you believe porn is? Is there a benefit to porn? Do you differentiate between ethical porn and, let's say, Pornhub? What is the line for you? When does it become porn? Is it steamy sex scenes in a movie? Like where is your line at? Where do you start defining it as porn? Are there things about porn that make you uncomfortable? Set boundaries around what porn is. If that line is a lot closer to you and certain movies fall into that category, be really mindful of the conversations around that. Or if you make the choice to watch those movies at all. The bottom line here is that for kids, porn is not safe. For kids, porn is not safe. It introduces concepts that they are not yet ready to grasp. It introduces dialogue that they're not ready to have. It introduces visuals that they're not ready to sift through. So it's really important that you have a plan around what your child should or should not do if they come across porn in a virtual space, no matter the age, what they should do. For example, maybe your plan of action that you go over with them prior to access. So let's set this boundary really quick. As soon as your child has access to the internet, you need to be having conversations about porn. If they have a tablet, if they have an iPad, if they have a phone, whatever it is, as soon as they have any form of access to the internet, you need to be having conversations about porn. Even if they're 4 years old. Even then, you still need to have the conversation because if they have access to it, they may come across it. As soon as they have access to a device that allows them to get on the internet in any capacity, whether that is YouTube Kids or not, you need to be having conversations about porn. So setting that guideline of what that looks like. So, for example, it could be close the device and come and find me right away. You are not in trouble. I just need to know what you saw so that I can explain it to you. Especially for our really young ones that may or may not know what they're even seeing or what's even happening, it's important to reinforce that this isn't something that you've done wrong. This isn't about a right or wrong situation. I want to make sure you're safe and that I can talk to you about what you may or may not have just seen. So setting that conversation around what they could access. And that conversation needs to happen as soon as they have access to those devices. Okay? As your child gets older and has more control over this decision for themselves, you can set the understanding and having conversation around that most porn is not ethical and it's not ethically produced. Most porn falls into that category. Pornhub falls into that category. And that there are things that are seen in porn that are not accurate representations of bodies, not accurate about how sex works, and not accurate about relationship dynamics. The things they can access in porn aren't something that is going to teach them to live a safe, consensual experience with a partner or partners. Normalize, again, their curiosity, because the curiosity is not the issue here. That is not the problem in this conversation. Normalize their curiosity. There are safer outlets to learning about bodies and learning about sex. Point them in those directions instead. I see that you want to understand more about how sex works, or you're curious about what sex even is or what it looks like. You are curious. Point them in the directions of being able to explore that curiosity safely. Message me if you need ideas on those outlets and what options are safe for them to be curious in. I am one that frequently speaks to the benefit that porn can have for some people or some relationships. Let me clarify this. Ethical porn is what I'm speaking of, okay? I am one that speaks to a benefit that it can create, but none of that is for children. That is the boundary that we set. That none of that is a way for children to learn how bodies work, how sex works, how relationships work. This is about what you want this to look like in your home, though, right? Like, I am not here to give you rules to abide by and follow for your own home. That's your decision, right? I will give you evidence and research and statistics and support on how to have the conversation, but ultimately it's up to you of what that conversation looks like in your home based on your own household values. And I want you to think about what that could look like. So here's some things to get you thinking as you evaluate your values around this and how those conversations come up. How do you want to handle masturbation in a space that is not private? What words would you want to say to your children? How do you want that conversation to feel? How do you want them to walk away from that conversation? What emotion do you want to be felt in that? Do you have shame that comes up within you when talking about masturbation? Having an awareness of that is necessary because it masks the conversation that you're having. What feelings do you have around masturbation? Do you feel that it's something that you're allowed to do? Do you feel that it's something that you can do, but maybe not talk about it? Or maybe it's solely in private. There's no conversation that happens. Or maybe you are in a relationship, and so you think that you shouldn't be masturbating anymore because you have a partner. What things come up in that? What stories are in your head about masturbation? Does that story in your head about your own values and beliefs around masturbation affect or influence the way you are talking to your child about it? What comes up in that? What will you do when you find porn on your child's device? What action do you want to happen? What plan do you have in place? And have this conversation with a co-parent, with a partner, with another friend that also has children in their home. Have this conversation of what an action plan could be. What do I want them to do? How do I want the proceeding to follow? How will you handle your teen's access to sex toys? What do you want that conversation to sound like in your home? None of these conversations are things that I expect you to have all of the answers written out, ready to go for tomorrow. Okay, I promise that's not the action step for tonight. Okay, this is a process to establish your family narrative around this. I am not here to tell you what you should or should not do. I'm here to give you resources and opportunities to explore what comes up in that for you. I will never tell you the perfect way to have any of these conversations because I think that shifts in every single home and with every single child. And the conversation that you have with one child around sex and the conversation that you have with another child around sex is going to sound different. Personalities, emotions, character traits, all of that goes into what that conversation sounds and feels like. So it's going to sound different. I hate to tell you this, but there's not this like bullet pointed list of how to have this conversation. I do a lot of work around this and a lot of education. I have an ebook and mini course about this, of laying out a process that you can follow or that could be in alignment with your family and giving you opportunities to explore what that conversation sounds like. The virtual course that I have, giving you opportunities to educate yourself on this information so that you can have that conversation from an educated space, from a space that you actually know what you're talking about then. and you're able to show up with that knowledge and sit with them in that space. Establish your family narrative and what you want these conversations to sound like in your home. I know that all of these topics, in a way that seems so easy. I know that I talk about them in a way that seems so comfortable, but they certainly didn't come naturally to me. Okay. This wasn't just like a thing that I was born with of like, oh, I know a lot about this. No, actually, it took over 20,000 hours of practice during my time, both in social work and through coaching clients in these tough conversations, both for their own story and for their stories as a parent and what it looks like to have these conversations. You aren't expected to be perfect in these conversations, but you do deserve access to safe, supportive, medically accurate information. And as you heard last night, the doors are now open to my signature 6-month coaching program. I have not opened this space since April, so I get all giddy and excited about new people, new faces coming into this space. My signature programs are designed to help individuals heal their story around sex. Heal their story around sex. Inside of my one-on-one coaching program, you get 6 months of deep healing work to rewrite that narrative. Pleasure is your birthright. Pleasure is your birthright. When you walk out of that 6 months, you will have a better understanding of what pleasure means to you, how to advocate for your own pleasure, how to communicate with current and future partners your needs, wants, and desires, both in and out of the bedroom. How to determine the best products for your body that enhances your pleasure. An opportunity to heal from sexual trauma. And an opportunity to ultimately write a narrative that serves you well. You hear me say that language all the time. The narrative that you have around sex and pleasure has to serve you well. And that can't be written by anyone else but you. Inside of Empower the Talk Academy, you will receive a weekly 30-minute coaching call that goes deep into your personal healing. These are one-on-one individualized support that focuses on the topics that you want to heal. There is no sifting through information that is not applicable to you. It is solely focused on you and your journey and what your story is. Working through what's there, what's the backstory, and what do you want the rewrite to be in that context of identify, assess, and rewrite. You will also gain access to unlimited Voxer support. This is constant access to me. I will always reply to those messages within 24 business hours. So when things come up with your partner that are triggering to you and you're struggling to process it or how to have that conversation with your partner, I'm there. You get to chat with me right away. As you work through a past trauma, and you need to talk it out because something has brought it up, because trauma doesn't just evaporate from your body. Okay. Unfortunately, it does not. You have somebody there to talk through that with, to support you in that conversation as trauma is coming up. As you practice implementing pleasure into your life, but you need check-ins to create this new habit, I'm there. I'm there to be a person that can check in with you as you create a pleasure practice that serves you well. You will also receive the Empower the Talk welcome box, which is one of my favorite things to make. It has a journal, a workbook, educational resources, products to enhance your pleasure. Because of the high level of deeply connective, intimate work that takes place inside the academy, I am only able to take 5 new clients. There is so much energy that I put into this work and so much energy that my clients put into it. And I want to maintain that energy space well. So I'm only able to take 5 new clients inside of this opening of Empower the Talk Academy. If you were to look at this from the perspective of what those individual things would cost, those 4 30-minute coaching calls would be a collective cost of $588. That's what I would charge somebody for 4 30-minute coaching calls. A month of Voxer access is valued at $297. And that welcome box is $197 of products. The value of this program is over $1,000 per month. But for those of you that are participating in this workshop, I'm offering it to you at $489 a month. That is more than 50% off the value of that monthly cost. There are pay in full discounts if that's something that you want to look at. There are also scholarship opportunities. Do not disqualify yourself. I will be giving away multiple scholarships, one of which I'm giving away at the end of tonight. Stay tuned for that, from generous donors who believe in this work. Getting opportunities to give scholarships from donors that know that this work creates such a powerful healing space is honoring. Like, it brings up all the feels for me. I highly encourage you to get on a strategy call with me so we can see what will fit best for you. I want you to be aware that this pricing will not last. The pricing will be increasing to $569 a month on January 15th. If you decide to join us inside of Empower the Talk Academy between now and January 15th, you will also receive a free ticket to my 2023 retreat. More details to come on that. This is a passion project of mine and has been on the dream board for a while. And I'm so excited to finally be carrying this out of having a retreat. So you're going to receive a free ticket to that. For those of you that are parents who know that you need more education on this topic and you truly want to become an askable parent that can have these safe conversations around sex, around masturbation, around pornography, my virtual course is the space for you. That is the perfect fit for you. And I'm freaking stoked for this because I'm launching it for the first time. A fully virtual, work at your own pace course that allows you to leave with all of the confidence you need to be your child's first sex educator. We talked last night that the sex ed course in school is not going to cut it. It's not medically accurate. It's not safe information. And it's not going to support them in keeping them safe and their bodies safe and their partner's bodies safe. You have to step into that role of being your child's first sex educator, and you need education to do that. Inside of the Building Sex Positive Homes course, you will receive unlimited access to my app, where you go through content that works in your time frame. You get to decide when you show up to that. Topics that are covered but are not limited to are consent, bodily autonomy, social, emotional connection, anatomy, penis and vagina sex, oral sex, anal sex, vagina and vagina sex, penis and penis sex, puberty, menstruation, periods, STIs, barrier methods, relationships, both romantic and peer relationships, pornography, social media, sexting, kink and BDSM, pregnancy, birthing, breastfeeding conversations, gender, sexual orientation, and sexuality. You get to work through all of that education and go through all of those in an easily accessible way through my app. You can explore the content with a partner or use it as a support for you when talking to your child. This course is over $3,000 of content, and the app publishers cannot release it until January 15th as they are working out all the kinks and quirks of an app. So for all of you that are participating in this workshop, I'm choosing to offer intro pricing for that app. And that intro pricing is $99 a month. I highly encourage you to hop on a call with me to see if that's the education that you're seeking and if that is the best fit for you. Please know that that $99 pricing will not last. So as soon as my publishers launch that app on January 15th, it will jump to $149 per month. If you choose to go in on intro pricing, you will gain access to unlimited Voxer support. Prior, I've only ever offered Voxer support to my one-on-one coaching clients. So I'm really, really excited to be offering this to you. Again, this is constant access to me. You get to pick my brain about anything that comes up. When your kid is crying as they get off the bus because of a comment that was made about bodies, or a comment that was made and they didn't understand, or whatever the context, you have me there to support you through that conversation. When your child gets in their first serious relationship, you have me there to ask questions and support in what those conversations can sound like. When they're asking questions about bodies that you aren't sure how to properly answer, you have me there as an expert to support you in answering that question. When you suspect that something isn't right, like we talked about last night, but you're not fully sure of the signs and their age and how that all correlates together, you have me there as an expert to support you and support you in asking the right questions and supporting you in holding space if you think there's abuse present. You deserve to live a life where you believe that pleasure is your birthright. You deserve that. You deserve a space to become a truly sex-positive parent. Prevention and education are key, and these signature programs give you access to truly become confident in that. I have a service for you no matter what your budget is. Do not disqualify yourself. If you have things that you are ready to begin healing from, schedule a strategy call with me. See if we're a good fit. I want to make sure that you feel safe with me, because I might not be the right person for you. And there is no point in signing up for a program with somebody that you don't feel safe with. I want you to feel safe in this space, and I want to make sure that we are the right fit. I'll be posting that link again tonight for you to be able to schedule that strategy call. There are already several times that are booked up. So be sure to schedule that quickly, because the slots are going. The slots are going. So, and there's only a limited amount of time available. And keep in mind that I can only take 5 one-on-one coaching clients. Okay. All right, we talked about a lot tonight. We went through a lot of conversations tonight. So we talked about acknowledging that masturbation is developmentally normal and accepting that pleasure is a part of being a human. We talked about how to set boundaries around privacy and safety, and how to have conversations around pornography. We covered a lot. If you missed any sections of it, feel free to catch the replay, skip through things, turn it on 2x speed. I already talk really fast, but turn it on 2x speed. Do whatever you need to do to absorb the content. I do want to make sure, however, that I quickly announce our giveaway winner for tonight. Thank you for investing so much energy into this space, so much energy into your work around these conversations, and so much energy and willingness to dive deeper into these conversations. Our giveaway winner for tonight is Laura Smith, and I want to give you a $500 scholarship to Empower the Talk Academy. Be sure to message me after the live so that we can talk through what that looks like and how we can begin working together. I cannot wait to talk to you, because I know that you're ready to dive deeper, and I know that you're ready to keep working on this. I will be giving away another scholarship tomorrow night, so make sure you show up for that and make sure that you're completing the action steps. I also have an application process to earn other scholarships from my generous donors. Make sure that you tune in. Make sure that you hop on a call with me. See if you are eligible for a scholarship. Tomorrow night, we are going to be going into talking about preparing for peer relationships and romantic relationships, and how to create a household knowledge of consent. All of the dynamics of that. It's going to be a heavy one. It's going to be a lot of education, okay? Thank you for spending this hour with me. Thank you for showing up and prioritizing your home, your well-being, and the dynamics within. Be sure to check on the action step as soon as we get off here. As a reminder, by completing action steps, that's how you get entered into the giveaways. And tomorrow's giveaway is another scholarship. So be ready for that. Be ready for that. If you have any questions that are coming up, again, as a reminder, feel free to message me, text me, send me a comment on here, whatever is safest for you. Investing this hour each day allows you to change the story in your home around sex. It allows you to create a healthy narrative around sex. I'm so excited to see you all tomorrow night. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Bye.